If you're looking for an easy and affordable way to upgrade your 2019 and newer Ram 1500 stopping power, then the PowerStop Z23 Evolution Rotor and Pad Kit is for you. Featuring PowerStop's excellent proprietary pad compound with drilled and slotted rotors, this kit gives you everything you need to stop on a dime every time without being too aggressive, making this a perfect update for a daily driven truck. Just a quick note on fitment here before we dive in. This kit is designed to fit 2019 and newer Ram 1500s, excluding RHO and TRX models. What we have here is a full front brake rotor and pad kit that gives you everything you need to upgrade your Ram stopping power. The biggest difference versus stock are going to be the drilled and slotted rotors. Now these are going to be a welcome upgrade to the standard solid rotors. The holes and slots on the faces here help channel heat away from the face of the rotor and from the pads. Keeping brakes from overheating is the key to having them perform properly. The slots direct heat out, and the drilled holes give that heat another means of escape as they lead right to the central vanes. So despite these being the exact same size and vent count as your factory rotors, these are going to perform quite a bit better. Now that of course is helped by the pads. The Z23 Evolution pads here are a noticeable step up in performance from your stock ones, but these don't compromise. PowerStop utilizes their proprietary carbon fiber ceramic compound with these. It gives them an excellent initial bite, great stopping power, and much better heat resistance versus stock. The pads are thermal scorched during manufacturing to help with faster break-in, and as you can see, there are central slots and chamfered edges here, plus rubberized stainless steel shims on the back to help keep noise at bay. So these are going to bite hard, they're going to bite fast, and they'll stand up to multiple full-bore stops in a row without fail. Now PowerStop also claims that these produce virtually no noise and no dust. No brake pad is entirely dust-free, but this formula produces very little dust, which is going to help keep your wheels clean. And again, there's pretty much no noise with these either, so there's virtually zero compromise. And for what it's worth, I like talking about these because I run a very similar kit on my own truck and have for a few years now. The PowerStops have been everything they claim and more. I've been happy enough with them that I put them on other vehicles too, and I will continue to beat the drum for PowerStop's products because I think they are a really great setup, especially for the price that you pay. They're also very well made, which again makes them a really good value. The rotors are made from a cast iron, similar to what you get on your stock rotors, but these have a couple of tricks up their sleeves. First of all, they're made using something called G3000 metallurgy. So this has a higher percentage of carbon in the metal itself. And like the drilled and slotted rotors themselves, this composition is extremely helpful in dissipating heat. The rotors also have a silver zinc plating, which is going to help prevent rust and corrosion, so these should look good and perform well for a long time. Those pads again utilize PowerStop's proprietary carbon fiber ceramic compound. Again, you're going to get excellent heat dissipation, consistent performance and feel with low dust and low noise. PowerStop also includes all new premium stainless steel hardware in the kit, so short of brake lines, this gives you everything you need for a front brake overhaul, and it's very high quality stuff too. Coming in at about $400, this kit is not exactly a drop in the bucket. However, good brakes rarely come cheap, and this is not a place you want to skimp if your truck sees a lot of mileage. This is also the most affordable front brake kit that features drilled and slotted rotors, and it's really not that much more money than an OEM replacement setup. And because it's an upgrade, that makes it a really good deal. In my book, it's always worth spending extra money on good brakes, especially if you're going to use your truck a lot. Again, this is not a place where you want to skimp, so if you can find room in the budget, I highly recommend picking up a set of these. Installation comes in at a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and this is definitely a job you can accomplish at home. Expect it to take you around 2 hours or so to complete, even if you've never done brakes before. It's not a difficult job, it just requires some time and patience. We're going to walk you through the installation process right now though, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you need a ratchet, 21, 16, and T30 socket, caliper hanging tool, flathead screwdriver, a front caliper tool, and brake cleaner. All right, so we're gonna be installing some front brakes on our Ram, so let's get started. All right, so we're gonna go get our front caliper off. The bolts are 16mm bolts on the back side, so we're gonna take them off now. All right, we're gonna take out 2 16mm bolts here and here. All right, we can take our caliper off and hang it up with our caliper tool. Just hanging on the upper control arm here. All right, we're gonna take our flathead screwdriver, just gently pry our pads off. and then we can grab our ratchet with our 21mm socket and take our 2 bolts off for our caliper bracket. All right, now we can take our rotor off. It's held on with a T30 bolt right here. So we're gonna grab a ratchet and our socket and take it off. All right, now you just repeat the same thing for the other side. All right, first thing we're gonna do before we get our new rotor on is clean it off from any oil or debris that might be on there. We're gonna grab some brake clean, just clean off our surface here. Grab a rag and just wipe it off. Do the same thing on the back side. Now we can go ahead and get our new rotor on. Just make sure you have the right one. It is labeled. This one's front driver's side. So we'll get this lined up with our studs. Thread it on. You'll see we have multiple different points, so it doesn't really matter where you put the rotor. So we'll thread our T30 bolt back in. Grab our ratchet and tighten that down. So we have our caliper bracket here. We're gonna swap over our old clips with our new ones. These simply just pull off. And then just push the new ones right on. Need a little bit of help, just grab your flathead screwdriver. Sometimes they can be a little stiff. On the other side here, just make sure that this curve point goes out so it doesn't interfere with the rotor. So we'll grab our caliper bracket, get that over our rotor. We're gonna thread in our 2 21mm bolts that we took out. We can grab our ratchet, 21mm socket, and tighten these down. So now we're gonna grab our new pads and we're gonna grease up where they're gonna go along our new clips. So we have our supplied grease, just lube these up. Get these set in place. Do the same thing for the back one. The pads are identical, so it doesn't matter if they're inside or outside. Now we can compress our pistons back. Now as you can see, the pads are pretty much brand new that we took off. Not that big of a deal, they're just not gonna compress that much. I am using an old pad just to help space it out. We're gonna get our front caliper tool in here. Just compress those pistons all the way. Take our old pad out of the way and go ahead and set this over our new pads. And grab our 2 bolts that we took out, thread those in. Grab your ratchet 16mm socket and tighten those 2 down. Now once you have this side all put back together, you can go ahead and repeat all those same steps on the other side of the truck. And that wraps up our install of our PowerStop Z23 Evolution Sport 6-lug brake, rotor, and pad kit for the front of our 2019 and 24 Ram 1500, excluding the RHO and TRX. And remember, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.